Okay, imagine this. It's Thanksgiving morning. You're buzzing with anticipation, ready for that perfect day with family, only to have it all crumble into a betrayal you never saw coming. What if the people you loved most just forgot about you? This isn't just a story about a missed meal. It's about feeling utterly disregarded by your own family. For me, Thanksgiving has always been more than just good food. Though, let's be real, that's a huge part of it, right? It's the tradition. Every single year, my mom would host. And yeah, sometimes it was pure chaos, but that house, it just glowed with warmth. The smells, the laughter, the clinking of silverware, it always made me feel safe, loved, and deeply connected. But this year, something felt off. I didn't even realize how much I was truly looking forward to it until that very morning. I've been absolutely swamped with work, just drowning for weeks, and the thought of finally unwinding with my family felt like the ultimate escape. Seriously, just picturing us all around the table, joking, laughing, indulging in way too much food, it was enough to lift my spirits completely. So, as I was getting ready, I shot my mom a quick text. Hey, what time should I swing by? I figured 4 p.m. was perfect. Enough time to get a few things done. Not too early to be in the way, but definitely not late enough to miss anything. Her reply popped up almost immediately. "For is great. See you then." I swear, I didn't think twice about it. I was so excited, maybe even a little too excited. I rushed through my errands, and by the time I was done, I glanced at the clock. 3:45 p.m. Perfect timing. I hopped in my car, practically floating to my parents' house, replaying all those happy holiday memories from years past. A smile crept onto my face as I drove. But then this tiny, insistent whisper started in the back of my mind. A small, nagging feeling that something wasn't quite right. Maybe I was just overthinking, or maybe it was just the lingering stress from work. Whatever it was, I tried to push it aside. Today was supposed to be fun, damn it. When I finally pulled up to the house, that familiar scent hit me. Turkey, mashed potatoes, it was like a warm, delicious hug welcoming me home. But as I stepped out of the car, a knot started forming in my stomach. Something felt wrong. There were no other cars. None. My family always arrived early, you know? Always a bustling symphony of activity in the driveway. I just stood there for a second, totally confused. I walked up to the front door, thinking, okay, maybe I'm just the first one here. I rang the doorbell. Nothing. I knocked, a little louder this time, still no answer. At this point, my heart was practically doing a drum solo in my chest and my stomach. It felt like it was twisting itself into a pretzel. Where was everyone? I pulled out my phone, ready to send a frantic text, but before I could even type, it buzzed. It was from my mom. "We thought you'd be late." My mind just went blank. I reread it twice, 3 times, trying to make any sense of it. What did she mean? Before I could even process that, another message flashed on screen. This time from my sister. We couldn't keep waiting. My stomach actually dropped. It made no sense. They wouldn't just start without me, right? Thanksgiving isn't just about the food. It's about being together. We always waited for everyone, no matter what. Confused, my hand trembling slightly, I pushed open the front door. It creaked, as if it had already been opened before. I stepped inside, expecting that familiar chaotic chatter, but the house was eerily silent. And then I saw it. On the dining room table, a half-eaten turkey, a few scattered side dishes, some dirty plates. It was painfully clear. They had already eaten. I stood frozen in the doorway, staring at the remnants of what should have been our meal. The realization hit me like a physical blow. I'd been left out. My own family had just moved on without me. I got back to my car, and that's when the weight of it all started to settle in. I didn't know what was worse, the fact that they hadn't waited, or the fact that I had to find out through a text message. I got in, started the engine, and just sat there for a few long moments, gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. I wanted to cry, but the anger was a raging fire inside me, holding back every tear. I sent one last message to my mom. I guess I'll just find something else to do. Then I just drove. I ended up at a park, parking near a quiet bench. There were plenty of places I could have gone, but I just couldn't face people. I didn't want to explain this hollow ache. It was chilly out, but I needed the space, the air, the silence to just think. Thanksgiving, the day of togetherness, warmth, family. What just happened felt like a brutal slap in the face. The phone buzzed again. A message from my sister this time. Mom's really upset. Please come back. I stared at the message. Upset? After what they did. She was upset? My hands gripped the phone so tightly, I thought it might shatter. A wave of pure frustration washed over me. I had every right to be upset. I sat in that park a while longer, watching the sun dip below the horizon, painting the sky in fiery oranges and purples. It was hard to shake the thoughts swirling in my head. I kept replaying it all. The empty table, the half-eaten food, the texts, the unanswered door. Eventually, the cold started to seep into my bones, and I decided it was time to head home. When I finally got home, I practically threw my keys on the counter and collapsed onto the couch. My phone buzzed again. This time, it was a voicemail from my mom. It was short, shaky, her voice filled with an apology I wasn't sure I could believe. Please, can we talk? We didn't mean to hurt you. We just didn't think you'd be coming. Please call me when you can. The next few days were just strange. The holiday passed without any more genuine attempts from my family to reach out. The messages stopped coming, and the silence between us grew louder, more deafening with each passing hour. But then, exactly 3 days after Thanksgiving, I got a message from my mom. Can we meet? I need to talk to you. I couldn't help but think about all the years I'd poured into this family dynamic. Years of showing up, always trying my best to be there. And yet, they hadn't done the same for me. That hurt more than I could possibly say. But despite all my doubts, a small, stubborn part of me wanted closure. So I agreed to meet. When I arrived, I spotted my mom sitting by the window, her hands folded on the table. Her expression was hard to read. Nervous, maybe. Finally, she broke the silence. I know you're upset, she said quietly, her voice shaky. I'm sorry. I should have waited for you. But it wasn't what you think. We were worried you wouldn't come, and the food was getting cold. I didn't want to hurt you, she continued. We just assumed you'd be too busy, or that something had come up. But I never meant for it to go like this. I looked at her, trying to read her face, but instead of feeling relief, a growing sense of frustration bubbled up inside me. Then my phone buzzed again. It was a text from my sister. I opened it, expecting another apology. But instead, I read, Mom says you're here. Please don't make this harder than it has to be. We just want to move on. My stomach churned. Move on? Move on from what? Could they really think that I could just let it go, as if nothing had happened? Just as I was about to speak, the cafe door opened, and in walked my sister. Her presence was like a sudden, jarring interruption. She sat down without a word. Finally, she said, I don't know why this is such a big deal. We all know you'd be late. It wasn't anything personal. A fire ignited inside me. It wasn't about being late, I said, my voice shaking with fury. It's about how you all just went ahead without me. You didn't even think to wait to check if I was on my way. You just moved on. I was ignored, and that's what hurt the most. My sister crossed her arms. We didn't think it was that serious. It's just dinner after all. Just dinner. I felt the blood rush to my face. No, this isn't just dinner, and it's not something I can just forget. For a moment, everything was silent. My sister avoided eye contact, and my mom sat frozen. Then, my sister said coldly, You're really making this about yourself, aren't you? Her words hit me like a slap. You think I'm making this about me? You walked out on me, And now you're blaming me? I could feel the blood rushing to my head. Are you seriously saying that to me right now? I hissed. That I should just get over it, because you couldn't be bothered to wait for your own family? Then the cafe door opened again. My uncle walked in. Everything okay here? He asked. I'm fine, I said bitterly. Everything's just perfect. I stood up, pushing my chair back sharply. I've had enough. I'm done trying to fix something no one else cares about. You don't get to decide what's important to me anymore. I'll let you figure this out without me. And with that, I walked out. The cool air hit me as I stepped outside, but it was nothing compared to the chill inside me. Part of me felt relieved, but another part felt hollow. Days passed, and I heard nothing. They had moved on, just like always. Then, after a week, a message from my sister. I don't think you understand what you've done. I stared at it, anger bubbling up again. She was the one who didn't understand. The more I thought about it, the more I realized something. I didn't owe them any more explanations. I had been trying to fit into a picture that was never meant for me. Then one day my mom called. Can we talk? She asked softly. I've been thinking a lot about what happened. I know we messed up. We pushed you away, and I'm so sorry. Mom, I started, but she continued. I'm not asking for forgiveness right now. I just want you to know we realize what we did and want to make it right. Only if you want to. I'm not sure if I can just forgive and forget, I said. But maybe we can figure it out. It's a start, she said. It wasn't a perfect ending, but it was real. A beginning, maybe. Still, I couldn't help but wonder, could they really change after all this? Or was I just setting myself up for disappointment again? So, I'm turning to you now. What would you do in my situation? Would you give them a second chance and try to rebuild what's been broken? Or would you walk away and move on for good?